What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Grass the Kid. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Kvoth. What is this? Kvoth is playing every god under the sun. Get it? Sun god? Ra? All right. The map is looking to be Painted Desert. Painted Desert is the map. And we'll see how this one is going to eventuate. Have not really seen a whole lot of Kvoth's Ra in this tournament thus far. We have seen him play some Isis. I don't think he's actually had any success with the Isis in the tournament, though, unfortunately. While Isis might be a considerably strong god to use against some lower level players, you can definitely find very easy wins against players who don't have a solid understanding of how to defend the Isis ancestors' eclipse push. It seems like at the top level that Isis just simply put the ancestors' eclipse timing push just doesn't quite work as well as it might have once done in yesteryear. But Kvoth is not had his he's not had enough. He's ready to try out the Ra here. And honestly, he has kind of caught Grass unawares here, as Grass has picked Odin, possibly expecting Kvoth to go in with Uranus here, saying maybe I'll pick Odin and try and get a win against the Uranus. But he's actually found himself in a very, very strange position that you might not be prepared for. Odin versus Ra, very, very different. This versus very, very different matchup to say Odin versus Uranus or Odin versus Greek or even Odin versus Norse. All of those matchups, those three matchups play very, very similarly. But against Egyptian, especially against Ra, things become a lot different. You have to have a pretty in-depth understanding of the Norse versus Egyptian matchup to be able to win this one. Now, that being said, Kvoth most likely was expecting to play against Uranus here. And yet again, Ra versus Uranus, very, very much different to Ra versus Odin. Now, you probably also might be surprised to hear this, but both of these matchups, though, at the very least, the start is different. You can't just go for a fast second town center against Odin. You can't just go for a fast second town center against Uranus. Things get like a standard 2 town center fast rain build into a fast heroic, that is. It doesn't really work. And we actually see that Grass here has gotten himself an incredibly good spawn on this map. He sees the town center here. He sees the town center here. He's going to be able to put some high level pressure onto both these town centers to attempt to put a stop to it. Now, Kvoth might not be thinking about going for a fast second town center, though, on this map. He's got a kind of exposed gold mine over here. Heimdall here taking out that sentry tower is a bit of a problem. And potentially some sort of a classical fight here might not be the worst of ideas. As I haven't seen this in a very, very long time. There's a rule about wall segments on top of gold mines. You cannot place a wall segment around the gold mine or onto the gold mine. That is not allowed. This is completely legal. This is completely legal, but it's a lot of gold. That is a ton of gold to make this happen. And if you see this as the Ra player, you just shake your head and you just start shanking that down and you be fine. There's also gold mines everywhere else on the map as well. This is Grass is a funny guy. Grass is a funny guy. The other thing he could have done was just put some longhouses around this gold mine as well, if you wanted to. But alas, we'll see how things are going to go. It does look like Kvoth here is about to get himself the resources to actually drop a second town center, as the army over here of Kvoth, or villagers over here of Kvoth, getting pushed back by the one Herser. Kvoth's just going to move back into his main base. He does have a rhinoceros here. House is coming up as well around this tower. Heimdall has been clicked, so Grass has got that happening. The houses, longhouse is coming down. And you can kind of see how when I was talking about you can't just go for the fast second town center here, like a delay, like the standard 2 town center fast heroic build for Ra and grab this town. So you can kind of see how that works. If you just go for a 4 or 2 advance, you can put the town center up. No problems. As we do see the undermine does get dropped down there, takes the tower out. Einhjar over there getting taken out as well as Kvoth is attempting to defend this position as best as he possibly can. As the barracks going to be getting thrown up with a whole handful of villagers and another watchtower getting dropped down here as well. This is very, very scary. But the Einhjar has been taken down. Kvoth still has his Pharaoh alive in a decent position. He's got plenty of gold in the bank. Going to be able to spam out those axemen. It's really important to put down multiple barracks here as the Egyptian. You are effectively in this position. If you're playing as Egyptian, you have to say, I'm going for a classical fight here. And you have to get like 3 barracks down because you advanced so late. Spam all the resources out. We do see Shadoof coming through for Kvoth at this point as the tower is now up. Villagers starting to get shanked down by the terrifying nature of the Odin. We do see one Wadjet is out here for Kvoth in a defensive position as we do see the Shifting Sands coming through. Villagers here getting taken out. That Shifting Sands, he will get a couple of kills, but he does lose a villager for it as well as the Axeman now starting to come out. Skin of the Rhino coming through as well for Kvoth. Not really an upgrade he wants to get at this point. It's a very, very expensive upgrade to get. You might say, well, how is 50 food an expensive upgrade? Well, it's 50 food and 2.5 villages worth of train time, which ends up being a significant amount of resources lost in terms of, or potential resources lost, I should say. Anyways, we do see the army pushing out onto this position. The wall's up. I wonder if this is the best way to do this wall. He's got... Fairly sure you could do a long, and like make it a hexagon or something rather than what he's... Anyways, nonetheless. 42 population for Kvoth to Grass's 66 population. We also see crenellations coming out here. This is going to be a big, big help. Dropping that Pharaoh over onto the watchtower would be a huge boost to the damage output of that watchtower as well if he so chooses. As we see the units coming into this position, taking out the house over there as well as a stray spearman getting sniped down there. Does it go down? Yes, it does. Nice play there from Grass. Still putting very, very much pressure onto Kvoth here as Kvoth trying to mine up this gold as best as he possibly can. 840 gold in the bank here for the time being as the house goes down, but the house is immediately going to get rebuilt on this position. Kvoth here, he needs to actually put more houses down. He's going to get housed here relatively soon. As another barracks finally coming up here for Kvoth as the units pushing forward, going to attempt to take down the throw an axeman on this position as the army comes back in onto this location here to take down the house that's getting built up. He wants to pick off that watchtower as best as he possibly can here as the villager gets pulled back. That watchtower looks like it will be falling here as the villagers come through, going to say, let's come in and get involved here. They do have that Skin of the Rhino very, very strong as the watchtower with 50 HP remaining is going to end up falling in this fight. Villagers don't end up going down as the army going to be retreating back for the time being. Still a handful of units over here to defend. Kvoth does have himself Shadoof. He does have the ability to throw the farms down and rain here if he so chooses. But one thing that he doesn't have is a crazy amount of production to afford the extra food that he's going to come through to spam that out, get him up to full population here. And he doesn't have the houses even to spend those resources. So we'll see how things are going to go. Villagers getting pulled off the gold for the time being here. Kvoth can start getting himself some Wadgets out as well. It's one of those things that Chemo does really, really well in order to defend against Odin Heimdall rushes is he gets 2 monuments out and he just builds Wadgets. So Wadgets in a defensive position are really, really strong. 16 damage a second. They don't miss. It's very, very strong unit where that's concerned is the Pharaoh here getting targeted down by those throwing axemen as now Grass is ready to put the pressure in onto this location here. The villagers can be pulled off of the gold tier to get involved as we are seeing slingers getting trained at this point. Not really what he wants here. You want to get those spearmen out with all that food he's got here in this location. The town center is getting involved with taking out a handful of units in this location as well. Grassengroom's population is dropping very, very fast, but so too is Kvoth's. Kvoth Kvoth's at 39 population at this point. Villagers idling on the town center here as well, as the tower's going to be getting targeted down here. That watchtower doesn't get completed at 528 HP. It's like a couple of smacks away from getting finished off here, as Grass continues to break through on this location. Kvoth retreats back his Pharaoh here. He's got nothing really left in the tank at this moment. Still trying to build out slingers here as the villagers moving up onto the hunt over on that position, trying to sneak past a Raven as well. We'll see if Grass is going to be able to notice that or not. It's quite a significant red dot on the mini-map, but it seems like maybe Kvoth has sneaked away with it for the time being here. 34 population, 26 villages to 28 villages, though. It's still a very, very close game in terms of that, as the raiding cavalry sneaked through, managed to take down the Pharaoh there. As the villagers coming over onto this position, the Raven flying overhead as the raiding cavalry running straight past the Crenellation's watchtower. Lots of damage onto those raiding cavalry there as it does move through there. But the villagers here, they will have to retreat away as the raiding cavalry coming in onto this position. As Kvoth, he's not building any units. He's trying to get to the heroic age here. And wait, and Grass has spotted the villagers here. Now these villagers, 10 skin of the rhino villagers, going to be more than enough to kind of take out this position here. If Kvoth wants to turn around and fight. But what's the plan? Kvoth here, I guess the plan is just get to the next age. He's got a little bit of food here in these villages. Should be enough to advance. But is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough here for Kvoth? He's gone up through Hathor. He doesn't quite have the resources here to... he doesn't have the resources to build even a Migdol stronghold after all is said and done. As the villagers pulling up to the top wood line over here. A couple of those slingers in a defensive position now. Kvoth can rain. He can build a Migdol. He can sell the food. Build a market. Sell the food. Build a Migdol stronghold. He might be okay here. Maybe. He can also sell wood. But it's a lot of investment. He also needs to put houses down here. As more farms getting dropped, the Pharaoh pops out. The army of Grass coming through. And I imagine here, the Grass is just going to say, hang on. You've just got a town center. It's not that big of a deal. The temple going to get taken out means no Wadjet. No Pitsukos. No Pitsukos. No rock. And Kvoth says, GG. Kvoth says GG, as he cannot make the Ra work here. He was trying to be a little bit too greedy in the classical age. He could have thrown 3 barracks up. He could have spammed units out. He probably would have been able to win the army in the early game here against Grass. He could have pushed back. He could have played that style of Ra. But he decided to be very greedy, tried to put the towers up, tried to defend the Odin Heimdall rush, and he got punished for it. And that's the game. If you guys enjoyed this one, congrats to Grass. Please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game.